What up, man? It's your boy, Miss Fantastic 824, the BABG, and I appreciate you pull up on me. Today we be going over the David Justice interview with All the Smoke podcast and him talking about his relationship with Halle Berry. I saw this on Twitter and everybody's talking about it and everybody's making it seem like, the Halle Berry today was a Halle Berry back in 1992 through 1996. Okay, and that's just not the case. A lot of revisionist history, a lot of things being said as to where like Davis Justice was out of his league. But let's just listen to it and you'll see what we talk about.
So, I didn't really have any really real personal stuff until Halle and I got together. You see, and
so just for a little context, David Justice was a professional baseball player for the Atlanta Braves. I think they drafted him. He won Rookie of the Year for the NL. And the Braves went on to win a World Series in '95. And I'm from Georgia, Macon to be exact, originally. Okay, so David Justice was like royalty. Okay, David Justice was I think he was an all-star a couple of years. David Justice was a pretty popular baseball player. Okay, baseball, right? In the '90s, and this is what a lot of these people that's talking right now don't understand. Baseball was America's pastime. Okay. In the '90s, people watched baseball more than anything else, NFL included. Okay. I don't know how people watch all 100 and however many games it is in baseball. I never liked baseball. But again, baseball was king. Like, and there was a gap between second. Okay. So again, people acting like Halle Berry just, was this godsend and all these different things, bro. I need you to go back to put yourself in the '90s, all right, and understand just how big baseball players were in the '90s.
Of course, that was a lot of focus because back in them times, I can't think other than Joe DiMaggio and Marilyn Monroe. I can't think of anybody before that was us.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. I can't think of no one.
Mm-hmm.
And then Halle coming up young and being hot and just trying to make her career, and then you got me. And, it really wasn't a lot of negative attention until I decided to leave her in 1996. I remember Halle saying to me, hey, she asked me to marry her.
Everybody's jumping over that part. She asked him to marry her. Okay. This was a career move for Halle. Okay. Halle, I think she started out in '91 as far as like, with Jungle Fever, I think, for Spike Lee, right? She didn't have that many major movie roles. Her first big movie role would have been Boomerang with Eddie Murphy. She was not making a lot of money, okay? Supporting actresses in the '90s were not making millions upon millions upon millions upon millions of dollars like people want to make it seem like, okay? Halle Berry was extremely attractive, beautiful, okay? Hands down, I think top of the list, all right, without a doubt. But as I always say and have to remind, the woman, all right, attaches herself to a successful and popular man for a reason. All right, there's a reason why we still know Lala Anthony. Yeah, she had the little run on whatever it was. I'll get an MTV show or whatever it was, so on and so forth. But her name, her opportunities, her everything got bigger when she did what? When she married Carmelo Anthony. Okay, we've seen this time and time again. And although Halle turned out to be an Oscar-winning actress, great actress, extremely attractive, all these different things, y'all are putting, the timeline is off. Okay, 1991 Halle Berry, okay, is not X-Men Halle Berry. It's not Swordfish Halle Berry. It's not. I think she played in one of the James Bond movies, and not Monsters Balls. Pause. Monsters Ball. Halle Berry. Okay.
After knowing me for 5 months, and I said okay, but because I couldn't say no.
Who's gonna say no at that time?
And I said okay, but I don't know if my heart was really into it.
Right.
But I didn't want to make her feel bad and say no. or like I was just in the moment. It caught me off guard. But I was like, cool, we getting along, we vibing. We're only 5 months in, we still in the honeymoon state. And then all of a sudden, that followed up. I met Halle in May of 1992. So you talking about, then we got married January 1st, 1993.
Damn.
Right. And, but we spent a lot of time apart because she was doing movies in this country, that country. And we honestly, we probably could have made it if I knew about therapy. If we knew about therapy, we probably could have made it.
That's another great point that he's making. Listen, people are applying today's advantages, knowledge and understanding of different things to, again, the early 90s. All right. And most importantly, they're trying to clown David Justice when David Justice isn't saying anything negative about Halle. David Justice is just finally telling his story after all these years, because there were claims by Halle Berry that he was abusive. I think there was some protective order put out at some point in time, but there was never any proof. Again, a protective order, an order of protection is not proof of abuse. I'm going to say this again. An order of protection, especially the preliminary one, okay, is not proof of abuse. And I see plenty of men out here. I don't know what's wrong with y'all, man. Okay. I really don't. Y'all men that are out here participating in this nonsense and also trying to shame David Justice, man, I got a question for you.
What's wrong with y'all niggas? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with y'all? You niggas are crazy.
All right. Y'all crazy, man. Why would you know what I mean? Why? Okay.
We never had any major issues like that. It's just that because I was young and had only been in, honestly, one real relationship before her, my knowledge and my understanding, my wisdom around relationships just wasn't vast. So I'm looking at my mom, and I'm a Midwest guy. So in my mind, I'm thinking a wife at that time should cook, clean,
Traditional.
And then I'm thinking, okay, if we have kids, is this the woman I want to have kids with and build a family with? And at that time, as a young guy, she don't cook, don't clean, don't really seem like motherly. And then we start having issues. Listen, we never that. I'll say this.
So again, this is the 1990s. This is a man that's marrying a woman, and he's using the prototype and the standard that he saw from his own mother and family, right, as what's going on here. And again, David Justice is the more famous, bigger, richer person at this time. Okay. All right. Okay. Again, David Justice is the A side here. As much as y'all want to think all beautiful and whatnot that Halle may have been, okay, that's all Halle had was beauty. Okay. And she ain't really got no booty. So, okay, beauty, and that's it.
Never had any issues about other women, other men. I mean, like, I was never tripping when, I was tripping one time when she.
Oh no, I got one time I was tripping.
At one time, because I didn't understand it. When we were out to lunch in LA. Now, my mom from Cincinnati, man. I ain't even in LA scene like that. And she see an actor that she worked with one time, and he came in, hey, kissed him on the lips.
Oh.
What are we doing around here?
Was he European or American? I'm confused.
American.
Hey, man, Holly weird, man. They call it Holly weird for a reason. Okay. But hey, that's how people get down in those actors, LA scene and circles. Hey, man, you know what I'm saying? Even the dudes kissing the dudes on the mouth. All Diddy.
What the fuck is going on here?
So I know this is going to be a conversation. So get home and I ask about that. Oh, that's what we do in LA. Oh, okay then. So now her manager and I used to go to this restaurant all the time. Had a young lady at the front seat us all the time. We went there so much, she became so friendly. We got the hugging her every time we come in. Hey, how you doing? Just regular hug. Take Halle and his wife to lunch one time. I said, Halle, this is such and such. This is Halle, right? Halle looked at that girl, saw how fine she was. Man, she gave her one of them, like barely touched her hand, right? Just played her crazy. I was embarrassed.
Again, man, listen, hey, shout out to all the, you know what I mean, the regular fine women out here, man. Shout out to y'all, man. All right. Before they are discovered, are attractive women all around the world. Okay. All right. One of my party got this song. He said, "Hey, met you in Mobile. Hey, it's fine shit in Mobile, Alabama, in Macon, Georgia. You know what I'm saying? All right, in Chesapeake, Virginia. All right, wherever you can think of these little odd places, bro. It's a fine ass woman there somewhere. Okay. All right. And they are finer than some of the famous people. All right. Especially when a lot of these famous people and had surgery and body and face and everything.
I was embarrassed. I was like, but wait, hold on. I just hugged the girl.
Right.
You kissed this dude, and you mad at me because I hugged the girl? So remember, we young. So young, you get petty.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You petty when you're young. There's things you just do that are petty when you're young. Well, anyway, the honeymoon stage was over, right? And now it's just David and Halle. And when it's just David and Halle, I just realized this is not the person I want to spend the rest of my life with. So February 1996, I told her, hey, I can't do this no more.
Again, man, and he tried. And understanding who and what Halle Berry became, and not just career-wise, but personal life-wise, I don't understand why everybody is trying to point the finger at him and clown him. I think Halle went on to have, I don't know how many failed marriages, at least 3 more, I think, and then kids with 2 different dudes or whatnot, and so on and so forth. All of her breakups have been horrible. And all of the partners that she's had have had a whole lot of negative things to say about Halle. Okay. Please, let's not act like a woman of her stature, right? And her her impact is used to getting any and everything her way. I'm pretty sure at one point in time, she was one of, if not the highest paid actresses in the movie industry. No one's used to Halle Berry. You know what I mean? Halle Berry's not used to anyone telling her no. Okay. Halle Berry's not used to having to play by somebody else's rules. So how is that ever going to work in a marriage dynamic? And, David Justice was just the first guinea pig. He understood what it was, saw the red flags, and he got up out of there. And again, he's still not trashing Halle. He's not saying anything truly negative about her at all, other than just like, hey, a couple of details here and there about difficulties that can be had in any, normal romantic relationship.
We don't have any kids. You said you wouldn't want any money from me because really she didn't have any money.
This is the part right here. Okay. Halle didn't have any money. We're talking early 90s. Halle Berry was fine, but she didn't have them dimes. Okay. Halle Berry was fine as hell, bro, but she was not getting paid like that. Okay. She was not getting paid what she weighed at the time. Right. She had to work herself up through those roles to get to the roles of where she was, the leading actress and the main focus and all these different things and so on and so forth for the big paydays. Okay. But again, because it's the man-woman dynamic and everyone automatically runs to the woman's defense, and she fine and she this and she that, and who is you? And people don't know, a lot of you young whippersnappers out here. Okay. Yeah, I get to say that, young whippersnappers. I'm unk now. Okay. So you young whippersnappers out here that don't know no better, that don't know anything about the 90s, y'all weren't even born yet, is now trying to talk about the Halle Berry you're aware of and put her now back into, time travel. No, it don't work like that. Okay. Again, David Justice was the clear A side and bigger person in this relationship, without a doubt.
One who bought the house in LA. I was the one who had my house in Atlanta. I'm really footing everything. And I said, you said you didn't want any money, so we don't have any kids. We should just make a clean break. And she was like, no. Now, so, and then all of a sudden I find out I got all these women. I find out I'm doing all this other stuff. And so what she was doing is, see, I'm just an athlete. I don't have managers.
Mhm.
I don't have this system behind me.
So again, made a verbal agreement, and this is why you say, man, it's hard to trust women out here. She asked him to marry her. Okay, out of good faith, and they vibing and everything is going well and good. Hey, you liking me, I'm liking you. We young, I'm successful, you're successful. You know what I'm saying? You're attractive, all these different things, so on and so forth. You give me your word, I'm gonna take it. Right. Once I say I'm done, though, nah, the rules change. And this is why men are no longer getting married. Women are still doing the same thing to this day. I love you. I would never this, I would never that. And as soon as shit is over with, bro, she's your worst enemy. And she will do and say anything to destroy your image, to take your money, your assets, make your life a living hell. Again, not all, but a substantial number of women do this. Okay. And now he's talking about how because she was in the the acting industry and whatnot, what have you, she had a PR team that was able to put all of this slander on his name. Okay. All these things that he was not doing, according to him. Okay. She had them put out in the press, hey, he's out here cheating, he's abusive, all these things, man. And now again, David Justice is just trying to play baseball, man. Okay. And he's always been a laid back guy. He's never been a super duper, crazy guy, not a party guy. Again, after this and whatever, you never heard anything about David Justice.
You see, she got managers, she got all this kind of stuff.
She got the machine.
She got the machine.
Mhm.
So you got the machine now coming against me.
Mm.
And I remember my mom saying to me, she was like, listen, baby, all the media want to do is see you two, you young black kids fighting with each other. She said, you just take the high road and let her say whatever she want to say, but I don't want you out here talking bad about that girl.
Mm.
My mama said this to me. I'm an only child, raised with just my mom.
Mhm.
What my mom said was gospel.
Right.
So I said, okay, mom, I won't salt her like that in public. I might talk a lot of junk to the boys, but I ain't gonna say nothing in public. And I didn't, man. But I did. I just watched her say all this stuff about me, and I was like, and so crazy is the one thing that probably I would say hurt the most is Halle had a relationship with a gentleman who hit her on the side of the head, and so she lost some hearing, but she never made him public. And I'm not gonna make him public because I ain't gonna do him like that. I know who it is. But for people to think, oh, it had to be David Justice because the only person they associated her with
Was you.
Again, man, see, and this is a fault of men. Okay. At the same time, I don't know, it's a toss up. All right. But even outside of everything he did was done to him by Halle Berry, he's still protecting her image. He's still keeping her secrets. And a lot of men are that way. Okay. Okay. This really, really, really hurts us in the long run. But I know that's why I'm not going to say it's really a negative thing. It's something that men will never get rid of and men will never stop doing because it's just in our nature. Okay. A woman tells you her deepest, darkest secret. You take that to the grave. You don't throw it in her face. The majority of men, I know there's very, very few men that'll do it, but some men exist that will do it. Okay. Got to cover that. But most men will take whatever that is, understand, how impactful it could be if used negatively towards you and never repeat it ever again in life, no matter what. Okay. David Justice got blamed for it. And again, she knew this because again, she had the restraining order put on her, a protective order. And he never put a hand on this woman. Okay. So and people are still using this to be like, and he's telling the story, but only thing people are talking about, oh, he expected Halle Berry to cook and clean. And they don't care about none of the rest of the story because it's a man telling the truth. And not again, notice I said not his truth, the truth. Okay. And he's pretty much exposing to you what the rest of these other men publicly, ran her name through the mud and told you she was just a horrible person to deal with and be in a relationship with. okay, and have kids with
was me.
Mm-hmm.
Now she said it was a former boyfriend. I'm not a former boyfriend. I was her husband.
Right.
That's different.
Big difference.
But literally from 96 until even today, sometimes I'll see someone on social media. Well, he hit her in the head. And I'm like, oh, that's just a quick Google search.
Yeah.
Do a quick Google search. That girl ain't never said I hit her in the head.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I didn't like is, but she let you think that.
Right.
Yep. Shout out to David Justice, man. And women will do this. Women will play the sympathy role to a T, bro. Okay. Women understand what having that vagina brings. What, dropping those crocodile tears, what it can bring, right? What it can cause. And they use it fully to their advantage almost 100% of the time, man. 99.9999% of the time. Okay. And like he said, he never did anything but right by this woman, and she didn't care. But again, it shows up in Halle Berry's character with her repeated failed relationships, multiple public just tragedies and atrocities. Okay. And he's still being ran through the mud when he was kept the most quiet, and he was just trying to go home and live his life and not, have any drama.
She let the world think it.
That's tough.
She didn't come out and say,
That wasn't him.
oh, no, it wasn't David.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to say who it was, but it wasn't him. No, she let the world think that it was me. And that I never appreciated with her. I thought she was dead wrong for that. I thought she should have handled that better. And I always say it like this, man. If I was so bad, you would think she would keep my name out of her mouth. She would be so happy I left, right? If I was so bad as a husband, she'd be like, whoa, I'm so glad he left me. But because it didn't like it was hard for her to find a next dude, right? She kept my name in her mouth because she wanted to be with me. She wanted us to work out. You know what I mean? And I know now that I've gotten a lot older.
And again, listen, people are gonna say, "Oh, nigga, you ain't nobody, nigga. You just some old nigga." That's again, you don't know who David Justice was for that time. And again, a woman that has the stature, the beauty, the everything of Halle Berry being rejected. How many men you think have ever told Halle Berry no in life? Now, this is just all assumption on my part, right? But her ego being rejected and not wanting to be in a relationship with Halle Berry, you think Rick James, like, I'm Halle Berry, nigga. Okay. I'm pretty sure that I'm Halle Berry. Well, no, Rick James is a lot older than Halle Berry. But you see what I'm saying? All right. First it was I'm Rick James, bitch. And I'm pretty sure Halle Berry's I'm Halle Berry, nigga. Okay. All right. How dare you? Who you think you telling me you gonna leave me? Come on, man.
And I look back, I mean, it's been a long time since I look back on that situation, but when I probably got probably like in my 30s, and I was more mature, and I look back on that situation, and I'm like, that girl really did love me, and I can see why she would be so mad at me. Because imagine if you really love somebody and they tell you they want to break up and there ain't nothing you can say to get them back. That's had to be tough on her. I just wasn't emotionally mature at that age to really truly understand the magnitude of how she was really feeling. And I would have did things different back then too. I wouldn't have just, literally when I left her, I didn't even talk to her no more. Like, that is so, that like, I didn't even ease out. Hey, I don't want to be together no more. Gone. You see?
Exactly. Listen. Ghosting a random chick, on some one night stand is one thing, but ghosting your wife is crazy. All right. David Justice was diabolical for that one. But again, understanding that he was David Justice, he had that option. Okay. It was a battle of egos there. All right. Halle Berry was not Halle Berry that we know today yet. She just wasn't. So what the hell he got to talk to her for? She's not making him happy. She's not doing what he wants her to do, so on and so forth. And again, I'm not excusing it, but I'm just, trying to, I guess, translate his thoughts, understanding who and what he was at the time. And again, women do this all the time, But yeah, man, I think, this is the truth. The man is for the first, and this is the first time him sitting down in years and having a actual explanation and candid conversation about this whole situation. So again, man, shout out to David Justice.
I mean, I could have massaged that better, Matt. I could have. So back to the point of the focus in the media. Probably the best thing that happened to me is this was February 96 when I left her. I only played 6 weeks of the season that year. I blew my shoulder out.
Okay.
So I saved myself a whole year of fans
questions and
just
craziness
burying me.
Because I was going to ask too. I mean, obviously, people expect us to be superhuman, and when we go through real shit off the field or off the court, there's no excuse in our profession. So I was going to ask you, did it affect your playing at all? But you didn't really.
I actually started out great. I started the season great. I wasn't hearing too much junk on the road yet.
Yeah, we know why Matt Barnes is saying that because he had the whole incident with Derek Fisher and whatnot, right? But that's the story, man. Shout out to David Justice. He didn't make the MLB Hall of Fame, but I think he made the Braves Hall of Fame. And Halle Berry is Halle Berry. Okay, you go look at Halle Berry's track record and her relationships. Again, I don't know why people are making him the problem, but at the same time, I do because the woman always gets the benefit of the doubt. But hey, Miss Fantastic 824 on all social media platforms. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the video. Greatly appreciate you, man. We out.